This is Ollie in the second video of Open Assistant Marketing Open Assistant. So what we did yesterday was setting up the Slack channel. There's a video on that. And what I want to do in this video is actually start using Steven, which is the Open Assistant name, which we have set up to do its actual job to market itself. So let's get started. I'll quickly walk you through what I discussed with Steven. So yesterday I chatted with Steven to explain who I am and who Steven is basically. And I explained I'm building Open Assistant. You can go there and see what it's actually doing. So great. It's Steven is pumped to work on promoting itself. That's really good. And what I want to do is I want Steven to build a system for itself to work as the genius marketeer for Open Assistant and to keep track of content basically. Over time, I explained that we'll add different channels to which Steven can post, but for now it's really focused on content and getting everything out there. So what I wanted to do is to set up Nextcloud. I'll show what has been integrated in a bit. So let's see. I checked if it could see Nextcloud. That worked. That's perfect. You can analyze with your integrations and make a plan. I want Steven to keep track of all the content and files on Nextcloud, of everything that I pass to Steven through Slack or any other channel, but mainly Slack for me. And I'll also add stuff on Nextcloud so that Steven knows that. And I'll use Notion to just keep track of scribbles and raw ideas. So everything that I provide will be input to provide blogs, and Steve will be writing all these. I want Open Assistant to be content oriented so that there's actually not just noise that goes out there. The typical process is that I'll provide content, can be a short idea, a video, and then Steven is responsible to turn that content into actual blog posts. Later on, we'll put it on social media channels, and as I indicated, I'm still figuring out how to publish stuff, but at least we'll do the content part already. I struggled a bit to get the Notion integration set. That's because I did not add the connection to the page, which is unfortunate. Everything is also documented on how to set that up, so that can be found. Then, let's see, Steven made a workflow and a description, a folder structure basically of the content that we use. So the workflow, I will drop files in raw input. Steven will create drafts. As I mentioned, I will be the one reviewing and approving what can be published. And then when done, it can move to published. Then following up, I recorded the previous video of setting up Slack with Open Assistant. As you might have seen, here is the URL. And as indicated by Steven, it has created a blog post. So that's currently in draft. Let's have a look at it in a bit. And it actually put the transcript in the raw input and put the draft in the draft folder. Great, so Steven is actually starting to do its work. We'll refine that in a bit, but good to see that the system actually works for Steven. I wanted to do some checks whether it could connect to Notion, worked like a charm, perfect. And then I basically sent a voice note with an idea for a blog post, and it created the actual blog post there. So we'll see that in a bit. Yeah, Steven failed to transcribe it, so I had to copy paste it here. So I asked Steven to send me an error report of what went wrong. It was an error in the configuration, so I fixed that. I sent this, and awesome, just wanted to confirm the transcript works. Now it works, nice. I cleared again, and then there we go. I wanted Steven to make a script where I can explain how agents can be configured in Open Assistant. Soon, I will add another video to actually explain what is the best way to configure the different agents that Open Assistant has. So yeah, that is now on Notion. I'll show that in a bit. There we go. So let's look at what Steven did on Nextcloud. So this is basically the setup. It has the workflow defined. Let's see how Steven keeps track of its own workflow. That will be the whole test. And then we can actually see that this is the transcript of the video that has already been posted, that has been put online. So what I actually want to show is how these blogs that are here are getting posted to the blog of Open Assistant. And I do that using plugins. I have my own CMS, so content management system, for the Open Assistant blog, which I added with a custom plugin since it's my own CMS. How can that be added? It's a JSON that can be added here. You can find the details on that. That's yet another video to add, but you can add any kind of service that has an API as tool to be registered in Open Assistant. More on that later, but I'll first show how I set up the blog. So I added that plugin. When you add a plugin, which is basically any API that exists, it creates tools, and I'll show how these work. So I assign these tools to the blog master agent, so it can list the posts that I have, get posts, create a new one, and update. There is three things that I did not assign to Steven, or the agent, the blog master that Steven can use. It's to delete the post, publish it, to make it public, and to unpublish a post. Because as mentioned, I really want Steven to work on the content itself. I'll review it. I am going to do the tweaks and then finally hit publish when I want it to publish. You can see it has 4 tools, the ones I assigned. And I wrote a really simple backstory. So I'll add a video soon on what is the best way to add agents to Open Assistant so that your assistant can actually do the best of its abilities. But I added Blogmaster, which is the manager of the Open Assistant blog. So if I go to the admin page of the blog, we can actually see right here that this is the transcript that I've sent. Yeah, I'll still review this. I have a preview. It's not the most graphically nice preview. However, it's enough for me to review that. The most important thing, Steven has some kind of identity now. It will also get better over time. What I can show as well is that as Open Assistant is very transparent in plugins that have been called. So it can execute Python, it can compose documents, it can list files on Nextcloud, it can post blogs. You can actually see every call that has been done from Open Assistant to any plugin or integration that you enable. Stay tuned. I'll publish the blog that I have added. And all the other blogs that have been mentioned, hopefully Steven is able to publish them very soon. See you later.